Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are live. We are live on the radio. We are live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter, of course, YouTube. So come join the chat. You can find us at Para OR Normal Guyz with a Z on YouTube chat. And we also have the phone lines thanks to Yerg's Radio. We're live on Yerg's Radio. You can call into the show if you have a question for us or just want to BS. We're good with that. You can call us at 1-888-88-YERGZ on your phone pad. So tonight, we've got a really great show lined up. There's been some changes to the lineup, and I'll explain that as we go. But we have Don Swanson here, and he is a movie director. Yeah, can you believe we actually got somebody that's important behind the camera making decisions on our show? So we have him tonight, and then after that, we're going to do a live discussion of a paranormal or cryptid event in East Tennessee. So without further ado, I've talked too much. Let's bring in my lovely assistant, Dina. How are you, Dina?
I'm fine.
Don't you feel like you should be turning some numbers or something?
I do. My lovely assistant. Be better white for the night.
Somebody's got to keep me out of trouble. So, all right. So let's bring in Don, and Don is a important person in Hollywood. He's a movie director, so we've got to. Hey, Wendell, how are you? Wendell's in our chat. We've got to treat Don with some. I don't know.
Respect.
We got to treat you. Yeah, we got to respect you. Yeah, because you're like famous in Hollywood. So Don, tell us.
Yeah.
You're just like us, so.
Yes, I am.
Well, Don, tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't have a live counter telling us how many people are listening or watching, so it could be one or it could be a million. I don't have a clue. So
it's all good. I can talk either way. My name's Don Swanson, and in terms of filmmaking, I've been doing it independently, professionally independently for over 20 years now. Award-winning, internationally reviewed and screened, been on panels in Pittsburgh, festivals in Manhattan and Finland and anywhere else you can think of, really, I suppose. And what you have me on for tonight, Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7, because they didn't learn the first 6 times, is a kind of a parody movie within the third feature film that I'm making called The Haunting of Prince Don Pedro with Joe Fischel, guy who I've worked with on the other 2 features in some shape or form. And and incidentally, like I said, before all of this, my very first feature was a Bigfoot movie. So take that how you will. And when I was in Washington State, crossing the Cascade Mountains, I stopped at a couple filming locations for Harry and the Hendersons. So that's about.
Oh, that's cool.
That's about as much as I can maybe lay claim to being any kind of Bigfoot person. But
you know, that is a classic movie. So
I love it.
It's still one I watch. So I like the funny Bigfoot movies. I'm not so much of the big horror ones, but some of them are pretty good. And then some people are just too. I can't even go there. It's like they don't even try. Yours look like to me, of course, like you were saying that it's an actual movie within a movie,
right?
For Bigfoot Unleashed, part 7.
Yeah. Part 7 is the one that's
I'm trying to remember because I was doing the countdown. They didn't get it right. It was the first time, or because
they didn't get it right the first 6 times, or they didn't learn the first 6 times.
Didn't learn it.
Yeah, they didn't learn the first 6 times.
The poor secretary ran into the fence all the time.
Amazing young actress named Valina. Had a lot of fun doing it that day.
I bet you did. It looked like fun. So
it was fun. We shot that literally because I think the completed short's somewhere around 7 or 8 minutes long because its purpose is to fill in this larger film project. And our whole goal is to kind of play into that kind of really cheap kind of cult classic kind of movie. So I actually shot it on a 20-some-year-old digital 8 camcorder to
love it.
That really old look. But at the same time, I used like a quality mic, and all of that kind of thing. so yeah, we pretty much just had Joe Fischel had kind of written a script, and it wasn't necessarily like a overly detailed script, but it was kind of like a generally what's going to happen. And we kind of took that and we just had a lot of fun on the day that we shot it, invented a lot of stuff. I know my personal favorite part of it wasn't in the script, and it is in the trailer, where she runs up to the gate and she's pounding on it, and then it cuts wide and you can see she can just run.
Go through it.
Yeah, we're like run right around the gate. That was just something that wasn't necessarily scripted. It's just like, hey, look at that. Let's go over there and film that.
It's like in the horror movies, they always run into the barn with all the tools and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, the worst possible thing you can do. So we tried to hit almost every cliche in like the really bad, low budget monster movie you can think of.
That's awesome.
Where was it filmed at?
Right around my house, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Some of it was my property, and we live right along a rail trail, an old abandoned railroad line that has since been converted into trail space. And
Nice.
catty corner from where my wife and I built our house, we own about a just under 5 acre lot. That's the boundaries are dictated by the stream, the road, and the trail. So that's the stream. We basically just went across the road and film there, and walk down to the trail to part that runs off that isn't finished yet. That was the fence.
So you just basically had a premise, and then most of it was ad lib, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, Joe did write a script, and
Okay.
in terms like, here's the characters, here's certain things they say, and this kind of happens, and this kind of happens, and we went off of that. But it was, like I said, it was very loose. We just kind of
fun.
we
That sounds fun.
we used it as our guide, and then we just like whatever we thought of while we were doing it, just kind of went off of. Like her line wasn't written.
Yeah.
Cheesy like one day but not today. We were filming that part, and I'm pretty sure I said, I feel like she should say something here, and I said something, and Joe said something, and she's like, let me try something. and that's
very cool.
So yeah, it was literally just fun. It was like, I think Noah Chrisman was with me. He's the AD on the feature, and we had the 2 guys who were the cops and a girl doing makeup, and Joe and I. It was literally like 5 or 6 of us just kind of hanging out for a day and playing. So
I was going to say, y'all look like, just from what I could tell, that y'all meshed well together, like you were friends. So.
Well, yeah. On the filmmaker side of it, I suppose that's because I do want to stress, I appreciate the lead-in you gave me there, but I'm definitely not Hollywood. I'm from Northern Appalachia. I'm from Western Pennsylvania, so I'm Northern Appalachia, how we say it, but
Appalachia.
Like South Appalachia.
I'll say Appalachia. Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, not very far, like not next door or anything, but I could get on it pretty easily if I wanted to. So and a rule I learned pretty early is that when you're doing like independent film, and am I allowed to do a minor cuss? Is that allowed, or should I? Okay.
Say whatever you want.
When
we're not on 2 FM radio, so
when you're doing independent film, like when I mentioned having played Manhattan before, that's with a really good friend of mine from college named JP Driscoll, and we went to a local state university, and we premiered at that festival, and it was a lot of fun because there's people like, they lined us up like, well, where'd you go to film school? And they're like, NYU, Columbia. We're like, Indiana University, Pennsylvania, like this school that no one's ever heard of. I don't think they mean Indiana State. But basically, from kind of doing it that way, learned very early, when you're doing a no or low budget independent film, no one has room to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because, people are either not being paid or definitely not being paid enough.
Right.
To not try to make it a place you want to be, to not make it a good time. So,
right.
Yeah, that's something I do always try to do on my sets, is try to make it fun. And so long as, we're doing what we need to do, but try to have a good time with it while we're doing it.
Yeah.
You have to. Let's see. Uncommon Soul asked a couple questions here. You want to know how do actors remember their lines? And then there's something else.
Not very well. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I guess that was his only question. So, but
well, I guess it depends on the actor, right? Like, I work with people from like friends in the general area to SAG after actors in New York, Chicago, LA. And I think it depends on, it is a little bit of fun because you hear an actor in an interview or something like that, and they talk about their process and, being in the moment and this and that, which is very true. But I think it's all about approach. When I'm directing someone who doesn't have a whole lot of experience with acting, I always try to stress you're not acting, you're reacting. So,
Right.
you try to memorize your lines insofar as you know them, but when you're in front of the camera and we're doing a take, I don't want you thinking about it. So me personally, as a director, I've never cared if someone doesn't get a line quite right, unless, for plot reasons, it has to be specific. In most cases, it doesn't have to be specific. I mean, think one of the biggest Mandela effects in pop culture. Did Darth Vader say, "No, I'm your father," or Luke, "I'm your father"?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what she said. It still gets the point across.
That's
So
true.
basically the part just kind of comes out. I want them to live with it. And if they're in the moment, they're not thinking about it. They're not thinking about how they're going to act, what they're going to say. They're just present and reacting. And that's whether it's something goofy like Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7 and The Haunting Prince Don Pedro that it goes into is also a bit of a dark comedy, or something more serious. Like the last feature I did was a psychological thriller. It doesn't really, regardless, you have to be there and reacting to whatever is in front of you.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. Here in Atlanta, I'm sure you probably know, is like Hollywood South.
Yes. Yeah.
As a paramedic, I've been blessed to be able to go on quite a few sets, and I've been drug into a couple sets. The movie Avengers, I was in, they cut the scene, but it was where the Hulk was supposed to be battling in downtown. Well, now the thing is, with those two guys, the brothers that do the directing for it, they add stuff in that they're going to put in other movies like 3 or 4 down the road. So I don't know if it'll ever make the light of day, but they had the fire truck lined up, and they had all this fake smoke and stuff and explosions. And they were supposed to grab some equipment off of the truck and run out of the scene screaming while they were trying to do something. And so they put the rookie up to doing this because all the old guys were like, "I ain't doing this. This is stupid. We don't run to nothing," and they're looking the director. And so they're like, "Rookie, go." And he, of course, is all nervous. He goes and he grabs, it's a circle saw, which is the biggest saw in the truck. It's actually a circle saw. And he goes, grabs it, and turns to run, loses his footing, falls. Shit goes everywhere. I mean, he broke the saw. He was flying. His helmet went the other way. And we were waiting for the director to say cut. And he just kept rolling. He's like, "I love it. That was great." And
Oh my gosh.
of course, the guys are like, "You had one thing to do."
Thing out of it. Well, I know. Joe Fischel, we are near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and not quite as active as Atlanta, obviously, because Atlanta is one of the major hotbeds in the country for film. But major productions come through, and I know probably the biggest one Joe worked on was The Dark Knight Rises, and he got to be a cop in it, and just the whole. And his perspective is pretty neat because he's been as an extra or kind of like a small cog in the larger wheel in these like major productions. But it's kind of neat to get his perspective then, because he does that, and then it's a handful of basically people that are just hanging out and making a movie. So it's neat to kind of have that.
It ruins watching TV the movies for you once you've been on the set.
Yes, it does.
Because I've been on game show sets with The Rock, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I got pulled in to be a FEMA worker, and then I've been a paramedic on Avengers. What was the other one? Clint Eastwood's movie about Atlanta, the Atlanta bombing. I got drugged into that, and I was one of the firemen running with pieces of people. So it's funny. You'll see something, and then they'll take it all down, and you move to the next thing, or you do it 20 times, and it ruins it for you. It really, for me, it did, because I was like, that TV show, it was filmed in like a closet. They do things.
Well, a famous filmmaker once said the trick is it's all an illusion. Whether it's big budget or low budget, it ultimately comes to how well can you pull off the illusion.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's true.
And you said about 20 takes. I typically try to be 3 to 5. I know if some people that worked with me were here, they'd be laughing at me saying it's more than 5. But
Yeah.
in particular, the first feature, the other Bigfoot movie, there was a one scene, one shot thing we did where we kind of set it up, and the two leads, it was a terminally ill little girl, and her wish was to find Sasquatch, and the case worker was talking with her, and they're kind of in bed together talking, and it starts off wide, and the camera kind of comes around in on them and then out again, and it was very complex in terms of the timing and everything, right? And in what we were limited on, and we got, I want to say within about 7 takes we got it, but then the producer didn't like that the girl playing the social worker, whose name was Nasa, had her socks on.
Oh.
So we had to take the socks off, and it was 20-some takes total.
Oh my gosh!
Just so she could take her socks off. So stuff like that, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got sympathy for the 20+ takes.
Yeah.
They're also very specific. Like we would be on duty for one day maybe, and then they'd say, well, we want you to come back, so we'd be off duty. They take pictures, and they're like, you have to come just like this. And I'm like, it's not just a uniform.
Yeah.
And then I realized they were taking pictures of everybody, and they wanted to keep continuity. Say, okay, you wore a red shirt and brown socks or whatever. And with me, it wasn't that big a deal because it was just a uniform. But I was like, what else would I wear? But I didn't realize till I looked behind me, all the people. I was like, wow, that's a lot to keep up with. So.
Right, and they get detailed too. Like, is your shirt tucked in on one side and not the other? Is the shoelace untied? Like they really, really get in there. Should I?
Go ahead.
That's better.
All right. So in Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7, the movie within the movie, The Haunting of Prince Don Pedro, of course, Bigfoot's in it.
Yay!
Yeah, Joe Fishel plays Bigfoot, and I think like Joe is the producer of it. On the last one, it was kind of my thing, and he worked with me on, and this one is kind of his thing, and I'm working with him on it, and that kind of dynamic. But he plays Bigfoot, and the goal was, like I said earlier, to make it kind of every cheesy cliche we could find. And he is definitely Bigfoot, and you definitely see Bigfoot in the movie. And we have some really great shots where he's stomping through the woods, and it's almost like it's supposed to be some giant branch or something, and it's a twig like that big, when he like knocks it down.
That's so awesome.
He picks the girl up, and he struggles just a little bit when he picks her up off the ground.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's furry. He's definitely furry. So
that's a common soul.
Not the greatest Bigfoot costume, but that's part of the gag.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
your first movie, it sounded like it was a little more serious, though, with Bigfoot. So
yeah, it was. It was my first feature. It was a learning experience, it was the producer. It was his first time doing anything like that at all. We were fortunate in that our key actresses were both very talented. I mentioned Nasa Altmeyer is the case worker, Alexa Meckling, who was 13 at the time, I think, playing the girl that had cancer, whose wish was to meet Bigfoot. And then we had a decent supporting cast and some other decent actors in some key roles, including Joe Fishel, who had a small but pivotal, memorable role. So yeah, it was definitely a little more serious. It was kind of like family-friendly seriousness. And then the second one, the psychological thriller, Occurrence at Mills Creek, was, there were some jokes in there, but they were very kind of dark humor jokes.
Occurrence at Mills Creek, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Occurrence at Mills Creek.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, and our claim to fame with that one is we had Bessie Lynn George in it, the girl from the Billy Idol Cradle of Love video.
Oh, okay.
That knocks on the door like,
yeah,
when I come in, and does the whole dance and everything. And it was actually her daughter that was the lead.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, the lead in it. And Joe Fisher.
You.
No, you're fine. And Joe Fisher's in it too.
Nice.
Yes, Joe Fisher's actually Betsy's husband in the
Very
movie.
nice.
I think he hated doing that.
Aw.
Well, he's the one who introduced me and you, so I can't say
Yeah.
too many bad things about him. So and I told him I wanted him to come on too, and he's like, "No, what would I say?" And I'm like, "Just put the costume on, stomp
Yeah,
on it,
put
and
it
we'll
on.
laugh." So.
Well, let's see. No, I don't have anything from him yet. I thought for sure. Yeah, I thought for sure he'd text me by now, but he hasn't texted me. Yeah, so I must be doing well. I did get a text from Chris, who I mentioned earlier, though. But it's pretty long, so I'll take a look at it later.
So, what have you got coming up now? You were talking about the movie in the movie, and I wanted to touch on that because that seems to be to you or to me, your serious coming out kind of thing. Am I right on that?
Well, in terms of like serious content, that was probably Currents of Mills Creek. And prior to that, I've had 15 to 20 years of experience doing primarily shorts and music videos and stuff like that. This one is, I guess it's somewhere in the middle. It's kind of like a real quick way of putting it is Prince Don Pedro is a story about a bunch of high school kids that learn a very serious lesson about not taking history as seriously as they should. I like to describe it as it's kind of like a PG-13-ish Scooby-Doo kind of thing, and who've done it. We put these kids, and we've shot some scenes for it. We go into principal photography in the spring for the main feature. Like we did Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7 in August. We shot a couple scenes in the fall because of the fact that it was fall, and there's a couple other little kind of like movie within the movie nods similar to Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7. I swiped the wrong one, which is kind of like I don't want to say raunchy, but it's kind of like romantic comedy with an edge in it, and then a poker tournament one, and they're gonna be worked in as kind of like almost like Family Guys, where you reference something so we can kind of cut to it a little bit and work it in like that. But the movie itself is these high school kids who are pretty much in these ridiculous situations, but they take it very seriously. That's kind of the approach to it. And it's about Prince Don Pedro, the liberator of Brazil. And they don't take their test on Prince Don Pedro very seriously, and so a lot of bad things start to happen. They need to figure out who's behind it and what's actually happening and if it's real or not.
So, so it's kind of a campy sort of horror story? Horror?
Yeah, it is. It's a very tongue-in-cheek kind of like campy horror story, but like I said, it's gonna, unlike Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7, I'm using a much better camera. We're using professional gear across the board on it. But yeah, it's what I like most about it is it's putting these straight characters in these ridiculous situations, and we're really looking at kind of like teen culture today. Like one of my, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I apologize to Joe if I'm not supposed to say it yet. But one of my favorite sequences involves when someone meets their end at a party and no one realizes it until they trip over her. And then they text everybody else instead of like screaming or something. So all the phones light up. That's how the kids realize
that is so now, though.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because most of the teenagers you see are like this. So.
Yeah.
They
would
like this.
Oh, what? Oh my God.
Well, hey, you said that, and I took these off just before I logged on in the first place. So I'm very much, if it's that or it's that, there's no.
Yeah.
Hey, if I took these off, I wouldn't be able to see all these screens I got here. So
I could see the screen, but if I had to hold my phone, I'd either be like this or like had to put my glasses on.
And it creeps up on you too, doesn't it?
Yes,
at least it seemed to me. It's like I thought I noticed it, kind of noticed it, then all of a sudden, like, oh my God, I can't see.
Yes.
Like, I can't see.
Sucks really bad.
Hey, my wife told me I was old one day. I didn't believe her. So
Age is just a number, right? Isn't it?
Yes, correct.
I still feel like I'm 12 inside. As you know, when I was an active firefighter running in and out of the burning buildings and doing all that stuff, I was like, "Oh, this is great," and until it wasn't great, until it finally catches up with you. That's when I realized she was right.
That's the hardest part, is not being able to do the stuff you used to do, and it's like, what the hell? I used to be able to do this. Now I can't do anything.
My joke always was that I was perpetually 29. I treated it like almost D-Day, 29 plus whatever, and I got too much gray in there now, so I have to admit that I'm 30, unfortunately.
30's fine.
Yeah, we'll go with 30.
Yeah.
Dina's not a day over 30, so.
No,
I was thinking 27, to be honest, but.
Well, you're all so sweet.
Oh, be careful. Her head will swell up, and that's all we'll see in the frame.
Yeah, it might bust. It might explode.
So, have you got any other projects aside for that one you're working on, or how do you...
So that's the main one right now. I mentioned Noah Chrisman earlier. He's a friend of mine that's helped me out on pretty much everything I've done for about the last probably 7 or 8 years at least. And he's also a very talented filmmaker and artist in his own right. And he wants to do something together, and he's got some short ideas. And with Prince Don Pedro going on right now, and just life in general, that I can really only kind of like focus one place at a time. But we have talked a little bit about a couple things, and there's one in particular. I'll give you the title, but that's all. It would be a very dark comedy, like not horror dark, but like edgy dark comedy called Booger Sugar. So Booger Sugar. So that's something we've kind of talked about a little bit, and I know that's something I'm very much interested in developing. And he's got a couple short ideas of his own that I might go in with him on, once we get through Prince Don Pedro. And then I have easily 3 or 4 ideas in my head, but one at a time, basically. So right now it's getting through Prince Don Pedro, and then see what comes out of some of the things that Noah and I have talked about, and then beyond that, probably start.
Do you write a lot of your own things, or
sorry?
Do you write a lot of the things, or do you get ideas from others, or how does that?
The majority of the thing, I think, on I don't even know anymore. Because I'm only 30, but I've been doing this for over 20 years now somehow. Almost 25. I think the vast majority of the stuff I've written, there's only a couple things where someone else wrote it flat out, and then there's a couple things where someone else wrote it, but I helped, like either creative input or, maybe polishing the script or something like that, which is kind of what The Haunting Prince Don Pedro is. It's Joe's story. I helped polish the script and kind of like worked in a couple things, and he and I went back and forth basically based off of his script, but like where I thought I could add something and kind of like polish it from the experience and everything. So by and large, the vast majority of the stuff I've written, but there's certainly been a number of projects that I've co-written or taken a back seat to that on. It's fun.
I was going to say, that just sounds such fun, to do that.
Well, it's cool because when you're writing, you're in essence playing God,
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. And the stuff I tend towards is usually like darker, either like psychologically or horror or something like that. I don't necessarily personally like the in your face, gross out horror, although I enjoy watching it, being an 80s kid with Freddy and Jason and all that. But the stuff that actually scares me is the stuff that gets in your head. I think The Exorcist still holds up for that reason. Not because the special effects are still amazing, not that they're bad, but it's because it gets in your head. And Silence of the Lambs is still one of the most chilling movies I think that exists.
One of my favorites.
It gets in your head. So that's kind of what I'm personally drawn to.
I like the dark ones, like Robin Williams' 1 Hour Photo.
Oh my God! Yes.
great
the
one.
role he played in that, I was like, whoa.
I know
Yes.
it was such a detour for him at that time.
Right, and unfortunately now we know how
Yeah,
much darkness he dealt with.
right.
There's an interview one, I think it's around the time Hannibal came out. So when was that? Around 2000, give or take? The sequel
Right
to
around
this.
it. Yeah, I think
I
so.
was watching an interview with Anthony Hopkins, and they asked him about getting in the headspace to play Hannibal, and I thought this was great, and it was almost like a flag for me to wave for myself. It's like if you can't be afraid to go into the dark places, because it's how you kind of like confront it and deal with it.
Oh yeah,
So for him, he welcomed it because it's
yeah,
like a safe place to explore the dark side of what's in all of us to some degree, somewhere.
yeah. It's really, I think it's beneficial to have that sort of way of thinking internally. I mean, in like Glenn and I, we're both have been in the public safety and, well, law enforcement, EMS. We've interwoven between those. So um, to have that mentality to think those dark thoughts, and we also have that um, like gallows humor too, but to think like people think, like the dark thoughts that people can think,
Right.
it's a benefit to um, everybody to have those as a defense sort of thing, you know?
Right.
You
And I think
understand what I mean?
I do. And I do think it's interesting that people are almost ashamed or embarrassed of it, which is true. Yeah. Well, I
Right.
guess it should be to a certain extent, but I think you should be less concerned about what pops in your head and more concerned with what you do when,
Yeah.
when
Yes, exactly.
it pops in your head.
That's like I told the psychologist once we had to go for interviews every now and then. They said, well, describe your job.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, well, I intermingle in people's nightmares daily. And I just popped that
Yeah.
off like I was, pulling a piece of gum out of my pocket and chewing it. And she's like, okay, you're going to sit here and we're going to talk for a while. And I'm like, what? What'd I say?
Yeah.
Well, if I may, if you don't mind, I'm actually in my office right now. Pull this up. Okay, so this is a prop. Okay,
Yes.
this is a prop from a short I made in 2008, and these are real teeth because one of my best friends is a dentist. So
Nice.
they clean, they were cleaned and everything. But the short was a horror short that I made for a competition with very specific roles. And so my goal for it was to creep myself out. And what I would do is I tried at every step, I tried to think of the most disturbed thing I could think of and then go to the next step. And then I put it in a drawer and came back a week later and how can I make this even worse? And I like to keep this in my office because it's a great conversation starter.
That is neat. Yeah.
But the killer in it, he's basically like a deranged priest. It's called Rosie Girl. He's basically, and the actor's name is Shay Fulmer, who I did 2 shorts with back in the day. He's a deranged killer that thinks he's doing God's work. He's tracking down what people that he thinks have the evil in them, and the teeth are his thing. So, and the way it plays out is he's singing, leaning on the everlasting arms, as he takes the tooth off the girl and pulls this out of his pocket. And of course, it was like done up in blood.
Yeah,
and everything.
bloody.
And you see that he's like, I don't know. I just always thought like
that is cool.
messed up.
It is messed up.
Right, but that was the point. The point was for it to be messed up.
Yeah. That's like Dexter is one of Dexter, the show.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows ever. And
Dexter is a good show.
Makes me mad they stopped at the 2 seasons.
Yeah, I was thinking, I saw an interview, this has been a long time ago, but Martin Sheen did an interview and he talked about one of the roles he did was Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
And he said that even though at the time that was it was it was still a serious movie, but it was more set to that era.
Mm-hmm.
And he said after he left that role, he had to go get counseling because he was thinking like that character.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a danger for the actor, right? Like the question popped up earlier: how do they memorize their line? I mean, I think the goal of the actor ultimately, and everyone's process is different, is to get to a place where you are the character, at least in the moment that you're portraying, and that can take a toll depending on what you're doing. Is the violence in the movies hard to film? I think it's fun. I'll tell you what is hard to film, and I've only done it twice, I think, are sex scenes. Those are those are kind of difficult to film because you need to try to make it look sexy and everything, and it's like it's very, very mechanical, you know, and very, because obviously it's an intimate situation, and it's kind of like this and now that, you know, and the violence I think is a lot of fun. Rosie Girl, actually, I was at a screening of it in South Bend, Indiana at one point, and some woman in the crowd afterwards, because Rosie Girl is a girl. It's about a 10-year-old girl that sees this preacher character kill her mother, and then it turns out the evil is actually real, and her seeing her mother's murder awakens it, and she like grabs the preacher's hand, and her eyes start to glow, and she basically like explodes his heart, and he falls down. Nice. But I had this woman in the crowd just stand up and berate me for subjecting this girl to that kind of violence. And I'm just like, if you were there and we filmed it, it was not that at all. You know, like not that at all.
Yeah.
Website, Spruce Films, sprucefilms.com. You can find links to pretty much everything there. Currents of Mills Creek is on Tubi, Roku, Amazon, Blu-rays and DVDs through Walmart and Best Buy and Barnes & Noble, I think, other places.
That's cool. And I think somebody asked earlier, when was the next one going to come out? I'm behind on the comments here. When was the next one going to come out? And then how about Night Swim? Not sure about that.
Are you asking, or are you asking if I want a night swim? Or are you asking?
No. We were talking about like movies that get in your head.
Hey, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's the new horror movie out where I saw a trailer for it the other day where
I don't know.
Go swimming alone or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Is that what it's referring to? Because I'm honestly not.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, new horror film. All right, yeah. So. Yeah, I have too many buttons on my screen here, but yeah. Okay, I think I'm caught up. And remember, anybody wants to, they can call in and ask 1-888-88-YERGZ. Or if you're listening and you want to see our ugly bugs, you can find us on the Paranormal Guyz on YouTube. So,
if I can tag in, I see that Uncommon Soul added "That's sad" after the maybe they're talking to the sex scene part. I wouldn't say uncomfortable. Awkward. Awkward is probably the better word for it. You know, I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable. I mean, everyone goes out of their way to make it as comfortable as possible. But so maybe uncomfortable is not the right word. But
I think the best one to nail it was what was his name? Billy Joe. I can't think of his name. In Halle Berry.
Yeah. What was that? I know exactly what you're talking about. And I can't think of the name of it. That's the movie she won the Academy Award for.
Yeah.
Monsters Ball.
Monsters Ball.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That sex scene was like, whoo, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What I've done is nowhere near that intense. It's very, very tame, especially compared to Hollywood's standards. But still, yeah. I haven't seen Dr. Sleep since it came out, but I remember there are a couple parts in it that were that got to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, like you said, it's kind of, you want a movie to get to you. You know,
King,
you want it to
weird.
You want it to kind of tug on you. Wasn't really got, like I said, the 1 hour photo. That one was like, whoa.
Well, that's a good example. You know what I mean? Like that's a perfect example. To me, horror can be basically one of two or three things, right? It's either scary and that it takes you for a ride and it gets adrenaline going, or it's entertaining, whether it's so bad it's good, or you're just enjoying the almost the over the top brutality of it. But like I said before, the ones that actually truly scare me are the slower ones. I'd mentioned Occurrence Mills Creek. A huge influence for that was a 70s movie called Let's Scare Jessica to Death from the early 70s. Have you seen that? Yeah, that was a major influence for Occurrence in Mills Creek.
Good movie, yeah.
And it is. And it's kind of that like slow, did that actually happen? Did I actually see that? Is this actually happening? And then all of a sudden at the end, you're like,
what?
So, I mean, personally, that's the kind of thing that actually scares me. Anything else is either fun or funny, which probably says a lot about me, I guess. If I'm talking about
I was going to ask, what movies did you watch growing up or before? I know you say you've been in this forever. It feels like a lifetime, but you had to have some pretty early influences.
Well, I can thank my mom for that. And if she's not watching now, I'm sure she will be watching, tomorrow or in the next couple of days. She used to read me excerpts from Stephen King when I was a kid. I remember watching Christine, Salem's Lot. Easily one of my top 3 horror movies all time is the original Halloween by Carpenter in 78. And I remember watching it with Mom, and the rule was I had to have a blanket so she could pull the blanket over my head. Of course, I poked a hole in the blanket, right? So I saw
oh my gosh,
everything as it was happening.
Hopefully she knows that. You're not giving her some breaking news.
Well, I mean, I am 30 now, so she's
can't do anything to you now, I guess.
So stuff like that. Literature as well. I'm a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe. My mom turned me on to Annabelle Lee, which is one of the most twisted poems he wrote, and that was when I was a kid. Yeah. Like, dead wife, I'm gonna go sleep with you at night. like 9-year-old me, like, wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
The producer wants to know, how do you recommend your actors to improve their improv skills?
I think, truthfully, put yourself in uncomfortable situations. When I work with someone who's new to acting or trying to get more comfortable in it, that's basically it. Just try to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation is probably the best thing to do. Try to work something and then work with somebody who's able to challenge you and then just throw you completely off. And it's interesting because I think acting isn't entirely different from writing, right? Because when you're writing, you're kind of like playing God insofar as you're creating the story and these characters, but the actor's playing God insofar as they're bringing the character to life. So, when you write a character, you need to know everything about that character. And so, like, if I'm writing Star Wars, what would Luke Skywalker order at McDonald's? I feel like I need to know him well enough to know what he'd order and be able to say why. Same thing as an actor, like if you're working on a character, throw yourself in the most absurd situation that has literally nothing at all to do with what you're doing. And like I said earlier, react. Like in my experience, in my opinion, quality acting isn't about acting, it's about reacting. And you only do that if you're firm in who the character is. So to improve improv, that's what I'd say. Get with somebody that can kind of like challenge you and throw you curveballs.
Yeah.
I hope that helped.
Yeah, no, I was an author, I think we had on 2 shows ago. She was talking about, she's writing a trilogy and she kind of has a book, she said, on each character. Like you said, what would they order at McDonald's? What would they do? And then she also writes in the book as she's going along, okay, well, John on Wednesday was here so that there's continuity. Right. But like you said, she also did that with, what, and I think that's funny. What would Luke Skywalker order from McDonald's? So,
yeah.
Right. Like, and it could be the most absurd thing, but it has to make sense in your head, like as the creator of it, or in the case of the actor, as the person bringing the character to life, it's got to make sense. There's got to be logic, even if it's something as unrealistic as Star Wars or Harry Potter or something like that, there's still like a reality to that world, so like how would that character in that world react to basically any given situation. To write a movie from start to finish, I guess it depends. I know people that have done it way too fast and it shows. I know people that have taken way too long and it didn't do them any favors. And I know people that are somewhere in the middle, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I also know people that wrote it pretty fast and it turned out great, and I also know people that worked way too long and almost overdid it. For me, for features, at least a few months, I think, because I truly believe that you need to draft. I believe in kind of the old, almost like high school English kind of writing approach to it. And I think the worst thing you can do is think you're better than you are. It's work. I mean, a lot of people might not consider it work, but it's work insofar as you have to work at it. You have to get it out, let it sit, approach it with fresh eyes. And I think whatever the amount of time it is, I think you have to be your own worst critic. Obviously I've been doing this so long now, not everybody likes everything I do. That's fine. But what I found is, so long as I'm happy with it, but I'm only going to be happy with it if I know I put the work in to get it to a place where I knew I was going to be happy with it. So like I said, this one, The Haunting Prince Don Pedro, is Joe's story. I'm kind of like helping him with the script and helping him polish it and things like that. Occurrence of Mills Creek was very much mine. He was kind of reversed. Joe gave a little creative input there along with a couple other people. But for that, and like I said, it's very psychological and in your head. And that's one criticism it got. Like, some people didn't know in certain scenes, is this actually happening or is this in her head? But that's kind of the point,
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I established the reality of the story, and then I tried to come at it from every angle I could, given that reality. Like no one should hate your work more than you.
True.
Yeah, no one should hate your work more than you. Like, you should, by the time you put it out there, whether it's the writing, in terms of a script, to get to the script to the point where you're ready to shoot from it, or if it's a book or something like that, or even filmmaking itself. I don't think there's another great filmmaker once said, films are never finished, they're abandoned. You basically got to reach that point where, have I done my due diligence? Unless you're big money and deadlines and everyone's seen the Hollywood movie that came out too soon. But I think that's it. It's about being your own worst critic and trying to be as hard on it as you possibly can, so that when you're done with it, you're happy with it. And then if someone doesn't happen to like it, it really is just a matter of opinion at that. But you know what I mean? Because you've done your part to do what you wanted to tell, what you wanted to tell with it.
Yeah.
And there's actors and actresses like that too, that you see them play a part and you'll see them play it so well that you hate them in other movies.
Yeah.
Well,
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, typecasting's a very real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that with them.
My dad, like I said, I'm Northern Appalachia, but he was a coal miner, Western Pennsylvania coal miner, and I love him to death. But he always refers to, even though given his age and everything, he knows The Godfather and all of that stuff. Al Pacino is the devil from The Devil's Advocate.
Oh, yeah.
Al Pacino, he's like, he always makes me think of the devil in that devil movie.
Yeah.
Because he played the part that well.
He did. He played it very well.
He played it phenomenally well. And personally, I think of him as Michael Corleone, but
Yeah.
but that's my dad. He's always like, oh, Al Pacino, he's that devil. You can't trust him.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. And we all have actors like that. So yeah, I totally get it. And see, Uncommon Soul ask, how long are the movies? And
How long are your movies?
Are your movies? Yeah.
Well, like I said, this is this one that Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7 is a part of, is Prince Don Pedro. It's a feature. It's going to be a shorter feature. It's probably going to be around the 75 to 80 minute mark. So hour 15, hour 20. Currents at Mills Creek was about maybe 85 minutes, about hour 25. The Bigfoot one before that, A Wish for Giants, I think was about an hour and 15. The shorts vary. I think the shortest short that I have out there that actually has some merit and stuff behind it is probably around 5 minutes, but they're typically around 15 to 20 if it's a short. And then music videos are whatever music videos are. Yeah.
What music videos have you done, if you don't mind?
Well, actually, I didn't even think of this when you asked me, because what I'm working on is what I literally just finished. There's a band called the New Mutiny out of Virginia. Well, they're near Virginia Beach, Virginia. I think at the place is called Tidewater. We did a trilogy of music videos for an album that's releasing next month. And we started this about 18 months ago. And the approach kind of was they wanted them to be thematically linked, right? So we flat out address them as part 1, part 2, part 3. And the same, like the first one concentrates on one character, the girl, Alexa Mecklin, who's in Currents Mills Creek and A Wish for Giants. Second one focuses on a different character, Noah Crispin, who helps me behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And then the third one was supposed to be a mix between Noah and Alexa, but Alexa wasn't able to do it. So a young lady that's helped me out on the last couple things named Ariana Perella stepped in, and we kind of like tied it together like that. So when you watch them, given that it's a music video, it's very kind of abstract and artsy that way, but there's a reality, there's like rules that kind of tie them together. And after, I guess it's New Year now, my intent always was, the band used them however they used them. Now that they're all finished, I want to not full on re-edit them, but kind of fix them together into one solid work.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'll do like a small festival run on just to get it out there and see how it's received and stuff, and see how people get it and everything. So that's something I'll probably be doing over the next couple months. I know next weekend actually we're shooting I Swiped the Wrong One, the other movie within the movie for the Haunted Prince Don Pedro. And then after that, I don't think we're shooting anything till March. And then after that, we pick up Principal on the main feature in May into the summer. So somewhere between all that is when I'll do that music video thing. I did a couple. Mia Zanotti, she was pretty popular on The Voice in 2016 or 17, somewhere around there. She was in a Currents Mills Creek and did a couple original songs, and we did a couple time music videos with that, which was cool. My personal favorite, which to date is my personal favorite thing, period, was another New Mutiny music video from 2017. And I was Alexa and Noah and a couple others that helped out, Haley Woodside and Joey Crispin, Corey Heike and all them. We used Alexa, and it's called Forest Queen. And it was a very short turnaround thing. It was this very kind of creepy, gothic sounding song. And where they got a woman to come in on secondary vocals, that just kind of give them kind of like gothic kind of power thing. And all he was because the guitarist is a friend of mine from college, and all they were looking for was, hey, maybe like throw something together cool for Halloween. So in 3 weeks, I heard the song, and I just kept seeing like this young girl in a white dress covered in blood. So we just went and we ran with it. I think we spent 2 days shooting it. And for me personally, that's the purest thing I've ever done. Like, it's just pure art, as cheesy as that sounds. Yeah. And it played coast to coast on, what is it, the Action Channel or something like that. One of those cable channels. It was on a program called oh wait, there's the thing up there. No, it's not called Horror. Yeah, Horror Hotel with Lamia, Queen of the Dark, like in a
cool
type show. So it played coast to coast on that, and it's picked up some awards and stuff. But that was just pure expression. It was just like visual expression to the music, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to have to look up that band and see.
Athena's my resident band person. Let's see. They ask, where did I leave? Oh, Uncommon Soul wanted to know if there was much drama in the industry.
Well, I think like anything else, yes. Like I said earlier on, I try to operate under the idea that no one's being paid or paid enough to put up with crap. So try to make it a good time. In over 20 years, I've been on some sets that were less than ideal. I've ever only been on one show that was a flat out negative experience. So it does happen, but I think that generally it's more good than bad. You know, like what you get especially if you're on something like a feature or something like that, where you've got an extended shoot, you know, you're going to have it. There's the cliche, you kind of become family, which is true, but like any other family, you're dysfunctional. Yep. So, you know, like there's got to be the occasional thing, you know, no way in pretending that there isn't, but yeah, I think generally it's my experience have been good. You know, there's been a couple where I'm like, yeah, but like I said, I've really ever only had one negative experience in over 20 years. So, and people I know that work like Hollywood level professionally, basically the same kind of thing.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think on any of the sets there was a lot of drama. Like I said, you'd do something for 20 minutes and then you'd stop for an hour, and then you know,
right.
it's
not quite that way on an independent set.
Yeah.
Like, because time is money.
Yeah. And let's see, you answered that you do direct music videos, so you got that question. I saw somebody ask something about if you had a YouTube channel somewhere. I saw that, I thought.
Yeah, there's one for Spruce Films.
Films.
I think it's just at Spruce Films, all one word, capital S, capital F. And if you go to the website, you can link it from there.
Okay,
and
cool.
I mean, I'm not super active on it. I just put things on there to kind of have a place to direct people to check stuff out. And there's like trailers for all these things I've talked about, some of the older shorts, the music videos. I think there's like the trailer for Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7's up there. How many music videos do I have on here? 11 music videos are listed on there that go back to those. And like one I forgot about was shot in New York City a few years, well, more than a few years back now, because I'm only 30. 7 years ago, amazing actress and singer named Whitney Ann Jenkins. And, you know, we shot guerrilla style in New York. You know, we grabbed some shots in front of the library, like literally just in the street. The camera I used was as inconspicuous as I could make it. So if someone approached us, like, I'm just taking their picture, you know, but we were actually,
I don't think anybody would have cared.
No. Well, depends. I mean, we did shoot in the public library in Manhattan. Or in
the library. Oh,
same library as Ghostbusters. Someone might have cared if they would have.
Yeah, they might have. You're right.
I was going to say, sometimes they do get a little picky. You got to get permits and stuff. So.
Yeah,
that's guerrilla, and that's independent as well.
Well, you know what? And that makes it even more fun, in my opinion.
And I have had to charmingly talk my way out of a couple things in the past too. So.
Just have the guy, the guy in the Bigfoot run up to the cop or whomever, and like, oh, we're out of here.
Yeah.
Well, on Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7, we actually had at the end of it, there are two cops that show up, and that's kind of the gag. You know, the guy's on the PA calling in, and he's like, the secretary's been found again, you know, like outside. And they pull up and they're super, super serious and like, who could have done this? Like, not who, what? And it's like, well, we get ready for the next time. And that's kind of how Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7 cuts off of like, this is happening over and over. And actually, this is something Joe and I have joked about, but I definitely have some seriousness in the joking. I think it would be a blast to one day down the road make a feature-length Bigfoot Unleashed movie. I just think
you should.
That would be an absolute blast.
I'm in. I'll be the guy on the radio talking about all the blood and stuff. So
that'd be awesome. 2020 whatever, you know, shooting a movie on like digital 8.
Yeah.
And have a guy in like a Spencer Bigfoot costume.
There you go. There you go.
I'd be down.
Have a radio station where the DJ's talking at night about they found another body. Who could it be?
Yeah.
And next up, we have the.
Yeah, and by then we can pretend it's Bigfoot Unleashed Part 23 or something. Just really go absurd with it.
They'll drive people crazy. They'll be like, where the hell are the other 8? Can't find
That
them.
would be so fun. You should do that for
Oh,
sure.
I'd love to. I'd like I was saying, do this, and then I have a couple things to know, Chrisman. I'd
Yeah.
like to try to get something done on. But that is something Joe and I have joked about. And I don't know how serious he is, but there's a level of seriousness on my end. Like, I think it'd be a lot of
Yeah. Let us know if you do. Come back on and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or hey, drag us into it. We're more we're game for anything. So
We are.
I'll tell you what, Joe Fischel is hands down the single most talented producer I've ever met. And I've worked with some really good producers. He just finds, I don't know how he does it, but he'll text me like, hey, I got so-and-so in this location. Like, what in the hell? Like, how did you do that? It's like, well, I was just thinking this. So I did this. And then I talked to this. And now we got this. Like, cool.
Yeah. I could even get you some more music.
Oh,
Other bands.
Cool. Yeah, very cool.
And let's see. Yep.
she's my band girl. She knows all kinds of stuff.
I love music videos because they're all creative and they're not a huge time commitment. You know,
Yeah.
it's a couple of days and it's just pure creativity, you know.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
So tell me, I know we don't want to keep you forever, but we always like to ask our guests, have you ever had any paranormal experiences?
All right, so I knew this question was coming. I have, and I will share one with you. So I was a junior in high school, and a girl I dated that year, her name was Jessie, and we were at her grandma's house. And like I said, I'm rural northern Appalachia. We're at our grandma's house, which was this big, almost Victorian, but not full-on Victorian, but it's kind of like big, late 19th century style house. And we're doing whatever we're doing, and I look up and I see this greasy John Deere hat hanging by the door, and it just caught my attention. So I asked her about it, and she said, "Oh, this is my granddad's." And she paused, and she said he hung it there the day he died. Well, her grandparents had a little bit of money, and her granddad had his own airplane with landing strip. So it's winter. So a little bit later, we went up there to do what teenagers do, and heard snow, almost like footsteps outside of the truck. And so we got out, and nothing was there. And this is it. There's a blue flash in front of what was left of the hangar, and I know that I saw a tall silhouette of a man. And she started crying, and we just ran. And when we got back to the truck and down, she calmed down. She's like, I saw my granddad.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think granddad was keeping an eye on his precious granddaughter.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Like in that. So shame on me. But yeah, that's
pretty cool though.
That's
It is
exactly how it
cool.
went too, because I and it was so weird because I don't know why that hat caught my attention, but it's like she's like, that's my granddad's, and then she paused like he hung it there the day he died. Grandma just never moved it, and cut to about 2 hours later, and I know I saw the silhouette of a tall man, and she knows she saw her granddad, who's a tall man. So
Wow.
I guess I don't have to ask if you believe in ghosts or not. So.
I definitely believe in ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe I definitely subscribe to that notion. It's easier to prove something exists than it doesn't. You know, so I'm a big X-Files fan. Like
Wow, yeah.
So, you know, I definitely got a little bit of that Fox Mulder in me.
Yeah.
I want to believe it. So I'm inclined. I think, unfortunately, most of what you hear probably is BS, but that doesn't mean it's not true. You know,
Yeah. There you go.
there's more out there, you know, including Bigfoot. Like I find it hard to believe that there's so many legends about something so similar for it not to mean something. And Loch Ness Monster, same thing. Apparently, you know, people don't talk about what are the Champy and Lake Champagne.
Yeah.
Same thing. you know, and
Mhm.
all the different ghost stories and things like that. Like
Katie Elizabeth has promised me to come on the show. She's the one that has the sonar and the pictures.
Oh,
really?
She
really?
promised
I
me.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she's promised me she's coming on the show. She was
That's awesome.
scheduled for last spring, and something come up. She had a family matter or something, and so she promised me she was coming back. And so I'm with Champ. I'm definitely all into Champ.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
even know we had a Loch Ness monster until I started researching it.
I think I saw that on Unsolved Mysteries or something. Yeah, at some point in time. But yeah, there's too much. There's too much that's too similar for there
Yeah.
not to be something there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I believe. I definitely-
She was pretty amazing because she's told me that basically there's a river or lake monster in every state.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And I was like, no way. And she started, she told me for one from Virginia and Tennessee. And I was like, I've never heard this before. And she's like,
Probably
oh,
in North Lake. Was
No, I
it
think the
North?
one there is
Milton
closer
Hill?
towards Chattanooga. I can't remember the
Okay.
name of the body of water. But,
Stay in
and then
Chattanooga.
the one down in Virginia was off of the Chesapeake Bay, and it was kind of a Maryland, Virginia thing. I'm trying to think of the name of it. And she was like showing me all this as people have seen it. And then
Yeah.
she told me about something down in Pensacola, Florida. And I'm like, how am I not hearing this?
Yeah,
So-
the only other one that other than Loch Ness is Champy. I haven't heard of any. I mean, I've heard like river monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A log or a big muskie, but
George's
Okay.
monster is down in Savannah. Lake Lanier is just haunted. Lake Lanier is just evil.
Oh.
So that's, I think, the
Really?
deadliest lake in the country. I mean, people literally have just flown over it and died. I mean,
Oh.
every year it takes probably 20, 30 people. It's pretty
Lake
impressive.
Lanier?
Lake Lanier. How many people have died on Lake Lanier? Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
well, that's
almost
another thing. So it's
a
just like
recap.
haunted. Like I'm a believer of that. Sometimes you go
Mhm.
somewhere and you just feel it. You know, you
Yes.
don't necessarily need to know what. There's just something that's like
Not
Not
good.
right.
Right. Yeah, or not right.
not good. Not good. Not only not
Yeah.
right, but not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, your gut feeling.
Yeah.
That goes a long way. So okay, now we're just getting silly. They're talking about the fish look weird.
Yeah, some fish do look weird.
Hey, I saw on the news today, it was on the Weather Channel, and they finally are admitting that there's monkeys in Florida.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yeah, they escaped from a lab, and then there was a hurricane that took out a zoo, and they escaped from a zoo, and they've just taken and adapted to the environment. And now the spider monkeys in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, are becoming such an issue they're having to address it.
Oh.
'Cause they're like getting hit by cars, and they're like breaking into people's houses.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
The spider
crazy.
monkeys?
Spider monkeys, yeah.
Did you see that
Yeah.
where they had like a infestation of rabbits? Those lion rabbits?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yes. This one neighborhood, or whatever they're called, had somebody let their pet lion rabbits out and they bred and they were all over the place. I mean, they were like, it was
Yeah, I've
crazy.
never heard the monkey thing. Like that's
I hadn't either.
interesting.
Yeah, I saw today. Well, I have known people that research, for swamp ape, and
Right.
I've had them send me videos, and it's like there's no denying those are monkeys. I mean, they're literally, and they're like, yeah, but the DNR or whoever, the Florida Wildlife, denies it. They just adamantly deny it. It's like
Like, I see them.
they're right there, So, it's not like
At
we
least
see
that's
Bigfoot.
like
What
kinda-
is it?
At least that's kind of exotic or something. Around my part of the world, they denied forever we had coyotes and bobcats.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they
Yeah.
found out, yeah, we have coyote because everyone's seen them. Like,
Right.
not like a monkey or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we have panthers, and
coyotes.
the Georgia DNR won't say that they're here, and Tennessee won't either. They're here. Trust
Yeah,
me, they're
they're
here.
here.
That one I
They're
believe
here, too.
entirely because where we are for the longest time, you don't have bobcats and you definitely don't have coyotes.
Mhm.
I almost hit a coyote more than once. Like
Yeah.
we do. We do have coyotes.
Yeah, coyotes are in the neighborhoods around here. I mean,
Yeah.
those
But no
swamp-
monkeys.
No monkeys yet.
Not
Florida
yet.
gets all the fun, doesn't it? Something
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Florida.
Well, I'm in
Like
Tennessee.
snakes.
I'm in Tennessee. He's in Georgia. So
Florida
we're
can keep
all
the
along
snakes.
the Appalachian
Yeah.
area.
Exactly. Yeah,
I-
the
I-
Everglades are loaded with all kinds of things, and I don't even think they know what all is in the Everglades. To be
Yeah, I
honest.
don't either.
Oh,
There's
no,
no telling what's
that's
in there.
a wild land.
I
Yeah.
watch a fishing guy, and they call it like the deadliest highway because it's kind of like Australia. Something's always trying to kill you on that highway, the one that
Yeah.
goes straight through the Everglades.
Old neighbors of ours, retired neighbors of ours, and they don't live next to us anymore. That's what I meant when I said old. But Cindy and Wade, they lived down in Florida during the winter, and then they got a much smaller place back home in the summer up here. And they've told me stories about the Everglades, and just very much that kind of like you take it seriously. Whatever you hear someone tell
yeah.
you down there, you take it
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, I met a guy that did. I forget what the special forces is for the Air Force, but they would drop their soldiers or whatever you call airmen in there, and they were like, "We want it out of there as quickly as we could."
Right.
Can imagine.
Yeah, they were trying to train him for a hostile environment, and it's like, he's like, "We wanted no part of that training." And I was like, "These are the special forces. That's kind of
Yeah, if you want
Yeah.
out there, then that's something.
Yeah.
exactly." So
Maybe even dinosaurs in there.
Maybe.
There may be. You never know.
Hey, that's another thing too. I'm not convinced every single thing that they said went extinct.
I'm the same way. I don't
agree.
know
I
about
agree.
that.
something somewhere. It's a big world. There's got to be something
Yeah.
somewhere out there.
Well,
I know it.
they just bred a woolly mammoth up in Antarctica. So
Yep.
they took the DNA and bred it with a
So stupid.
was it an elephant or a rhinoceros or something? They used some kind of
No.
other DNA, and then I think
So they
that
never watched Jurassic Park. Is basically what it's coming
Apparently
down to.
not.
it's our government. No, they didn't do
Yeah.
that. Trust us. We're with the government. We know what we're doing. So,
Idiot. Yeah.
well, Don,
Yeah,
I don't want to keep you. I think I could talk to you all night.
Yeah,
And this is a lot of fun. You
Yeah.
can still go, I wasn't bad. I wasn't going to bite or anything. So,
I don't know. I just thought I had to get on the right foot with Dina there, or else it was going to be bad.
Oh,
So,
it was great to meet you, and I
But
had a lot of
being a
fun.
couple years older than her, since she's 27 and I'm 30, I thought I'd like kind of keep that.
Thank you.
well, make sure to tell everybody they don't be shy. Come on. We would love to have anybody on, actors, actresses, directors. We don't care. We just like to basically BS and, hang out and have a good time. So
Yeah, this was fun. This was a lot of fun.
It was
you're
fun.
going to have to keep up with me. Let me know when some of these things drop. So like I told you earlier, I'll be more than glad to pimp them on the radio and the podcast, and we'll get you back in here and stuff.
Where's the pimp?
Yeah, if I'm ever on again, I want you wearing one of those big hats.
Yeah, he needs.
It's funny. They tell me I look like a famous pimp out of Chicago, Mr. White Shoes. They say if I didn't have the mustache, I'm like a spitting like his doppelganger.
White shoes.
Well, I mean, the thing about this, it does take time. Like Prince Don Pedro won't be ready for release until probably the first chunk of 2025. So I mean, we'll be filming and then editing it and stuff
We'll be
like that.
watching for it.
No, I definitely appreciate the offer, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, you have to come back when it comes out.
Well,
Keep coming
again,
back.
If I don't, I'm sure Joe will somehow, producer extraordinaire. He's probably watching it right now. Probably set a date in his calendar on his phone. Contact.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. Well, tell him to wear the Bigfoot costume. So,
once we officially release Bigfoot Unleashed Part 7, he might be more willing to do that. I think he doesn't want to give too much away.
Okay.
Well, we'll let him have that. But yeah, it was funny, and I do appreciate him for introducing us. I was a little, like I told you backstage, leery of contacting the director on their phone. I'm like, "Are you sure I can do this?" He's like, it'll be all right. So,
despite the big opening you gave me, I'm not that big of a deal. So.
Hey, we're all that big of a deal in our own mind. So
that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the next Howard Stern. Yeah, right. So,
I don't want to
All
be
right.
anybody.
I don't either. I can't. It's bad enough just being Glenn. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Don. Thanks again. We appreciate it. If you got anything we can do for you to help out, let us know. We'll be glad to. And I enjoyed this. I know I kept you a little bit longer than I said, so I appreciate it.
I guess just sprucefilms.com. I'll do that.
We'll do that. Sprucefilms.com.
Yeah, post-production,
yeah. Other than that,
post-production, I'll add that into the comments so that everybody can find it. So
I'm definitely going to go look up your stuff and watch that movie.
She's going to watch all the music videos. I know.
No, I'm going to watch The Occurrence at Mill Creek.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most proud of so far. like so far.
Yes.
Don Pedro's not out yet, so we'll see.
I will watch that when it comes out too.
That one sounds good. So
yeah,
all right,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I'm looking forward to it, and we will catch you. We will catch you soon. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck you backstage so that you can get out of here. But thanks again. I really appreciate it. It was a blast.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was fun. Good night.
Night, Don.
Bye.
Oh, let's see. Now I got to move this so that it's not covering you up. So our 10 o'clock kind of got changed around a little bit. I got a message, and I've been so busy. We had some production errors here, and I'm so blessed to have a son that knows this electronics and computer stuff. So he got me straightened out and actually upgraded. But they messaged and said that they weren't going to be able to do the podcast tonight, that they had some personal issues go on and that they weren't going to be able to. So, well, we did promise that we were going to do it. So, you and I worked hard on some evidence. We'll go ahead and present that.
Sonia's on her way. She's coming.
Yeah, I saw something in the group chat that she had a flat tire or something.
No, she got stopped for her taillights.
Oh, well, she's lucky.
I know. She's in Halls. She'll be here shortly. Oh
yeah, she won't be far away. She's probably stopped to look for the monster. So, and and I don't know where Brenda is. So, Facebook user, let's see the evidence. Yeah, I sent her the link, and she's not even in the chat. So, Facebook user, you are correct. I'm going to show you just basically. Well, let's see.
We're going to go over some stuff that we may have figured out.
May have. One thing I always tell people, and I get a lot of pictures of blob squatch and people calling me or not call. Well, some
hey, Susan.
saying, this is what I saw. This is what happened. And some of it I look at and go, yeah, probably not. Some of the others I look at and go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I wasn't there, so I don't know what you saw. I don't know what you experienced. So I can only base it on what I have seen and what I have heard. But sometimes you get into these things and you're instantly like, oh, there's just no way. And then there's other times you're like, okay, I don't know about this. So let's see here. I'm going to try and share. This was the video they sent. This is on TikTok, so you can go find it. Well, I think it's still, we found it on TikTok, didn't we, Gina?
Yes. Yeah.
This was the video they sent me. And I didn't know it doesn't show my name and pic. Oh, okay. No, welcome, Susan. No, it's sometimes Facebook is kind of weird. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't.
It doesn't show your name or your picture. When you're on Facebook, well, I don't know. Yeah, on Facebook, for some reason, it doesn't show your name. All it says is Facebook user.
Yeah, with her, it's all it did say. Well, let's see here. You just do it a different way. I was gonna show it from the video player, but let me just bring it into the show. How about that? So it's just a little short thing that they sent. And I guess I should explain some of the backstory on this. I'm originally from East Tennessee. Of course, Dina is in Tennessee. And there has been a.
You can come in through.
What's
YouTube.
that?
You can come in through YouTube if you want to. I'm so sorry. I had a brain cramp.
Oh yeah, Para OR Normal Guyz, Guyz. You can find us there. But yeah, please, and remember to like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so this was the little quick video they sent me. Let's see if I can get it to work this way.
Thank you.
Hey, check right by the, or check that side by the way. Yeah.
Look right here. Look right here. The lightning bug's out right now. Run! Where's the gate? Where's the gate? Look at that.
Okay, I hope everybody could hear that. So if not, you can find that on TikTok. That was the first evidence they sent us. And they've been posting this on Facebook and a local community group and a couple other places. What?
Susan's laughing.
Oh, she'll find us eventually. So yeah, they've posted that all over the place. Local residents, some have said it's supernatural. Some have said that it could be something from Civil War. We've heard that anything from a coyote. So we've heard several different things. Mountain lion. Yeah, mountain lion is always a pop. I think somebody even said a fox, but I don't think I've ever heard a fox make that.
No, I haven't heard a fox make that.
A mountain kitty will make all kinds of noises. So
yeah,
you never know what you're going to get with a mountain kitty. Mountain kitties are not fun. All right, so let me see here. I'm going to line up. Then we've got some pictures. Now, some of these were the same ones that they also had posted on different Facebook groups and on different Bigfoot groups. I guess Bigfoot groups. So they've shared these around too. So some of these are new. The only difference you'll see here is so this is one picture they sent, and they claim that this is looking down a gate, and that
gate
down a road by a gate, and that this is from a game cam. And I managed to get it out of it, and I don't like to say that it was or wasn't something, but this looks like the back of somebody wearing a ball cap to me. Now, I don't
in front of somebody to me with their head turned sideways.
Yeah, could be.
Universal Sue.
Universal Sue. Welcome, Universal Sue. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, thumbs up. Yeah, to me it looks like this is their butt.
It does look
and they kind of got their hands in their pockets. Yeah. And yeah, they're looking to the side, but yeah, to me it looks like a person.
I see their feet turned side to the side now that you said that.
Yeah, to me that's a person. Now,
yeah.
Once again, I wasn't there, so I can't say, but that's what that looks like to me. And they claim this was shot late at night, which I don't dispute that part because, it does look like it was a nighttime shot. Now,
it looks dusky. I don't know about.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Let me hold on a second. Let me do something else here real quick.
I don't know could you get it that bright if it was a nighttime shot?
Oh yeah, you could.
I didn't know.
Let me go. I should have done this first. Stop that. Not that. Okay.
I knew that's what you were laughing at too.
All right, so. This is the area that we believe that it was shot, that these were made in. It's a residential neighborhood. This is a private farm, and back up here is a lot of wood line. So this is the area we believe it to be in because we don't know that technically where it's at. But that's what we're told. I believe that from what research we've done, that this little stretch of woods here, this is a road. I believe that most of the pictures were shot in here. from a game cam, and I'll tell you why I believe that. First off, the light is facing towards the property and down. It's the old kind of I forget the name of it, but it's the orange lights. So I think that's where it gets.
Is it halogen?
Halogen, I think that's correct. Yeah. So yeah, I believe that somewhere up in here, facing towards the road. These are all taken from Google, by the way. Is where a lot of these pictures were taken. And in fact, in one of them, they reference a gate. There's a gate right there, and you can't see it. Well, maybe you can. There's actually a gate straight across. This is an old barn here. So, once again, just a different angle. The gate would go across this field. So, well, Sonia, if whenever you're ready, come on in. You could add your 2 cents. So let me go back here for a second. And that's the area I believe a lot of these pictures were shot in. And we did that research on our own. The people in both the neighborhood groups on Facebook and the people that were describing the event didn't really give us a whole lot to go with or where it was at. That was their prerogative, but they wanted us to do our homework on it. Yeah. So once again, I believe that this is shot from the roadway. This to me is shot the opposite because I believe that's a pickup truck that could be in the driveway right there. It looks like the side of a pickup to me. Now that could be a road too, but that would put the gate on the wrong side, in my opinion.
Say again.
That would put the gate, if it was shot, if that was the road, the gate would be on the wrong side. From where we think the pictures were made, the gate should have been on the left because it goes across that field to the other side of the farm.
No,
that makes sense.
No.
Okay.
The guy's driveway, the gate would have been on the. If it's shot from the road, the gate would be on the right.
That's what I'm saying. I believe that one was shot from the road, whereas I believe the others are shot towards the road.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if the game cam caught somebody walking up the driveway, but
more than one game cam.
That's true. It's my belief that I really wish I had the other. Well, I don't know that I could have showed that from Google Earth, to be honest with you. So that's what I think. This one, I really wanted to ask them where they were at when this one was shot, because this is a total different angle than anything we got.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a reference or a roadway close to it as to trying to determine what this is. My best guess is that this is a person bent over.
That's the road out there. It's
not the same road highway. Because there's no. But there was no, from the angle we were looking at on Google, that driveway isn't there, so it's not from the same camera.
No, I don't think you're. I think you're right about that.
No, I don't. That's why I wanted to ask when they came on tonight where this one was shot, because it is so different than the others. And I mean, it's obviously road. There's a driveway. Here's the power lines. The original was really dark.
Yeah.
It could be a farm animal, Universal Zoo. It could be.
Could be. I think I only see 2 legs.
Well, I thought that it might just be a person bent over.
It does, because there's hair.
Yeah, it looks like I almost want to say it sounds silly. I mean, and this could be that it is a paranormal thing. This almost looks like an old granny dress, and this is her legs and feet, and she's bent over with her hair flopped kind of down. I don't know what they saw or what they thought they saw in this. I was really wanting to ask them.
Yeah,
and I hope that they come back on, and I hope that we'll come on. But I didn't want to not present the evidence, because I've been online talking about this and been so adamant about, we were gonna talk about this and what we thought it was or wasn't. So
pictures are interesting for sure.
I'm perplexed. Wrong way. I got nothing. It's a solid whatever it is, because there's a shadow, which would make sense from the light that would be shining up here, facing towards the camera from our point of view. So the lighting matches up. It does look like a granny leaning over, which it could be a ghost. I don't know what they thought was in that picture. That's what I think was in that picture. And I really wish they'd give me the chance to discuss that, because that was one I really wanted to know. This one,
I have no clue.
Yeah, I got nothing on this one. If this was staged or faked, they did a good job. It who knows? Yeah, something walking between the tents. Yeah, people realize there's things out there that go bump in the night that we just don't know. So, I got nothing on this one. I don't know if they saw something. I would have, if it was a game cam, hopefully it would have taken pictures before and after, and I would like to have seen them as well. But I'm just giving you the evidence I was presented with. So I can't go any further. This one I'm stumped. I don't really have a guess what it could be. Whether it's a prop, an animal, a person, or a cryptid. If I was to say it was a cryptid, and there's been some controversy, people say that skinwalkers don't exist in East Tennessee. Well, they're not really correct, because if you remember, the Cherokee were very common up there, and Cherokee talked about in their legends all kinds of things. So,
it could be. And we found some background on the area out there. There was a road that the Native Americans used, called the Talentiski Trail.
Yeah, I was going to let you do that one.
Talentiski Trail. Where Emory Road is, or in that area of Emory Road, there were what tribe was it? Cherokee?
No, the Cherokee didn't have that section yet.
Okay.
At that time, that was a smaller. I don't know the correct village of Indians at that time that had that area. The Cherokee had more of the. I guess that would be the southeast.
Mountainous. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh boy. Emory was the main highway. Emory Road was the main highway that the government used to travel to Nashville and New Orleans. And it was mostly by wagon, right? They built it for wagon, and they said it was the driest route to Washington.
Well, from between Washington and Louisiana.
And Louisiana,
I think when they were saying that, if you also look back into maps, Louisiana continued a whole lot further up in, what would that be, east than it does now. So,
yes.
And of course, a lot of people don't realize how long the Carolinas used to be. So,
You used to be able. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You used to be able to take Emory Road all the way up north. I'm not sure if it still goes that far or not, but so
that was one of the original roads from the 1700s.
Yeah, from 1700. It was built in 17. Now the trail was there in 1766. The Talentiski Trail. Oh Lordy!
Now, we couldn't find any major Civil War skirmishes, but there were Indian skirmishes when it came to different tribal boundaries, because, as she was saying, with that one tribe, eventually it became under Cherokee, I guess, domain.
Yeah. You-
And actually, the Cherokee Indians, that was a big complaint that they had with the American government, was that there wasn't a road for them to go that they could travel safely between tribes to get to Washington, which I thought was kind of interesting.
yeah.
And they wanted Emory Road to fit that bill. So there is some history on Emory Road. I couldn't find anything specific as to say there was a battle there. I couldn't find anything specific to say that there was an Indian war there, but
If you could
there is a
imagine,
history. So yeah.
if you could imagine that time period and perhaps well, you'd have the Civil War eventually come along, and what was it, 1860, 18, let's see, it ended at 18.
It was like 1868, wasn't it, that they finally made it an official road?
Yeah,
And that was 100 years later, to be honest with you. It was like 70, 80 years. So,
yeah.
uh,
But the Civil War was in the 1800s. It was 1863.
You're stretching my history further than I
So,
remember it.
I think. And so in between 1766 when when the Indians had the trail there and the road was built, which I don't remember what the date was. I'm so sorry. It was 1800s, maybe earlier. And the time period between that and the time of the Civil War, what skirmishes and battles and potential deaths or anything in that area.
Mhm.
I mean, and also that one big mass of land is owned by, has been in the one family for, it looks like several generations.
Yes.
So it
And
could
that
possibly
whole,
have been a plantation of some sort. I don't know for a
Mhm.
fact, but
well, it was land granted originally
yes.
from the
So
federal government.
yes, from the government. So there's no tell, and the guy was a soldier, so that's why he
Yeah.
got the land grant.
Yeah. So there could be a history there. And of course, modern history, there's, always people that are injured in wrecks and killed. So
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything specific. Uncommon Soul, you're asking if that is the road. Now, this is the driveway, I believe, straight up and down, and the road is behind.
the
Road to me is going left, right, and this is the driveway going straight down the center.
Yeah.
So I got nothing. I really, really, really wanted to know. I mean, we could stretch it and say, this could be E.T., it could be an apparition, it could be a skinwalker. The truth of the matter is we don't know, and
We don't
especially
know.
I can't say because I
Yeah.
really don't have any more input than just the data that I've been presented. Now this one. Okay. This one. All right. So this is the driveway. These are the trees. If you remember the picture where I showed you, the road went to the left, right. The driveway comes straight up the center. This was the original image. This one has been all over the internet with all kinds of theories about what it is. Dean, I'm going to let you take this one because I agree with you, and I really think that what you found just proved it even further.
Well, I think this is a fake
Agreed.
because I have seen, first of all, the anatomy is, well, it's off. The arms are way too long. The spinal column is way too long to be anything human. The shoulders are too square. The collarbones are definitely not real. But I did find online. Do you have the pictures?
No, I did not save those pictures now.
Oh, I didn't either. Uh, I did find online at Party City a skeleton that looks that they sell that's like 5 feet tall, and they have taller ones that are sold at different stores that matches the shoulders, the spinal length, and the um,
Ribs.
ribs, hip bones, arms. It's got very thick uh, radius and ulna bones in your arm, the two bones in your arm. Um, yeah, a yard ornament.
Yeah.
And they can be made to stand, or yeah, they can be made to stand.
Yeah, they're posable. Yeah.
Yeah, they're posable.
Common Soul said to wonder if there were any chemicals in the wars that could have created unknown creatures. That's always going to be a question that we ask the government many times.
Yeah, true.
You know, I want to believe, and I mean, I'll be honest, I want to believe. But this one, I mean, short of something from the movie Terminator.
Yeah.
Now, could it be an alien? Maybe. I don't know what an alien looks like. So,
Nah.
you don't know. I mean, there could be more than one kind.
I can't say definitively, but I get a feeling about this one that it is fake.
I agree. I this one to me, I wholeheartedly think this was a prop. Now, could it be that somebody is messing with this family? That's very possible as well, because we've run into that. I run into that in the case. Well, not I, but our team investigated down in Florida. It was somebody messing with them to get them out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. It could be. There's a high school nearby. It could be shoulder pads. You know.
If you go to Party City online and look at those skeletons they have for sale, they're straight across and they have big ball joints in their shoulders. So the shoulders are squared, but the ball joints, it looks exactly like that.
Yeah, and like I said, I wanted to believe that it was something else, but once I saw the ribs, I was like, I believe that's what that is. So that one, unfortunately, I don't believe is anything. But once again, I want to make this perfectly clear. I'm not making fun or poking fun, especially since they're not here. No. But this is a little sus, and I really wanted more information and more details. Now, if they had told me they saw an alien craft and this was walking down the driveway, okay, you got my attention. But I don't have that information, so.
Or if they've seen it move or on their own or whatever not.
Yeah, and once again, when you provide evidence, it's always nice to have the picture before on a game cam and the picture after. That way you know the continuity, because a lot of times they're time stamped, and I noticed none of these were time stamped. That doesn't mean anything, but you know, as an investigator, you always look for little clues to things. Mm-hmm. This one, once again, I would love to know the story. I got nothing. I can't pretend to tell you what this is. It could be somebody on all fours walking up the driveway.
It almost looks like somebody bent down. Let's see the feet. Like bent, I don't know, squatted or something.
Yeah, maybe like a center for hiking a football. Yeah, that could be. That's one of
the like a frog. You know how you play leapfrog when you get way down on the ground?
Yeah, like I said, like a center, they got the football right between them. They're gonna, that's it. Now that you say that, I see that. Once again, all right. Well, what we can deduce from this scientifically is we know where the light is, we know where the road is. So this is solid. It casts a shadow. There's no doubt about that. So whatever this is, it casts a shadow. And once again, I believe the shadow is with the light that would be up here in the top left corner, facing towards the driveway. I believe that that is consistent with what we found. So what that is, I don't know. I mean, once again, I really like a little more data, a little more input. Unfortunately, in a lot of these investigations, you don't get that because they either don't want to tell you or it's a hoax. And as we were just talking to the director, there is a lot of that. So this picture here, total different angle. I'm not even sure if it's the same driveway or roadway. I don't know what they thought they saw or what they did see in this. Several of my crew looked at it and couldn't find anything. One did. I wish she was here. I sent the invite and link to Brenda. She said she saw something in this. I didn't. She said she saw somebody with a black jacket and a headlamp on. I don't. I assume they're talking about this right here, but to me, that's a leaf. So I don't know what they're talking about in this picture. You know, I got nothing. So not enough data, as a friend of mine always says when we research. It's not enough data. So now this picture is very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. So we know where the road is. We know where the light is. And those are consistent with the others in the driveway and the shadow. I would really like more data. This could very well be a ghost. It could be somebody walking down the driveway. Could be somebody just. Yes, there's a third person up here. It's really hard to make them out, but yes, there's a third person up there. Since it was a nighttime photo, the shutter speed's a little longer, so it's going to give you this kind of willowy, wispy look. Yeah. You know, what looks like could be some kind of old clothing could just be the blur of the camera. But once again, what we can say is we know where the road is. We know where the light is.
Looks like he's got a net in his hand.
This guy up here?
No, the guy on the very front right. You see it?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. And this guy almost, that looks, I mean, it could be that's probably a limb. I was going to say it could be a fishing pole. But I was going to say, we know, yeah, that's a possibility. It could be smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
Just not enough data to really give you. I believe this is human, in my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion too.
But you know, well, Uncommon Soul, you're right. You know, the clothing does appear to be, but once again, the slow shutter speed, it'll give you that wispy look. So. Not enough data.
Yeah, we just don't know about these.
I want to believe. I really want to know more of the story on this picture. Specifically, this picture intrigues me the most. But I don't think it's a ghost because there's shadows. They're solid. I would like to know the time of day. A little bit, well, not time of day necessarily. Yeah, well, the time of day, but I would like to have the picture before and after. I mean, you know, there's just not a whole lot of data to go on with this. So, I don't know. We'll see. That's a Universal Sue you're asking. It does look like a person, but and from what I understand, they claim that no one was there and that it was late at night and no one is supposed to be there. Well, that's a main road that runs between two fairly large communities. It could just be people walking too.
But that's in their driveway.
It's in their driveway.
Yeah.
It's well into their driveway. So, you know, I don't believe it's a ghost. I don't. But who those people are, or what they're doing, or what that being is doing, the only thing I can say definitively is that it is an upright creature that has got solid mass. So
have you tried to enhance this one like you did the other man?
This was the most I could get out of it, really.
Okay.
It was just so grainy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the original. You know, it's even hard in that one to see this guy up here. You know, you really are person up here, creature thing. We just get more of a by the shadow of it. So, and when I did that, it really took this one away. I mean, besides for the shadow, if they're lost in the leaves.
No, I could see it dead very well.
What, right there?
No, up. Over to the right.
That way?
No, right up.
That's fine, right?
Up, right there. That's his head. Facing head. But you see the neck?
Gotta say
Neck
no.
and face?
No.
The white part?
I see it, but I don't see. I know what you're talking about, but I don't. I don't see what you see, but I know the area of the film you're talking about. I mean, technically, I would say this looks like an actual face to me, but I know it's pixelated, so that's not the case. So
no, go back out. Go back out and look again.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm not arguing with you. I just don't see it the way you do.
Oh, okay.
I see a person there. To me, it looks like this is maybe their arm going up, and this is them walking towards them.
I don't see that at all.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. You know, without having any data, we don't know.
I see the white
like
being as shiny
Black Lagoon costume coming at two Chinese guys is really what it looks like to me.
Oh Lord.
My imagination to go wild, you know.
It does look like a Chinese. This one does look like a Chinese guy with the
hat,
yeah,
the net, and and this, like I said, this to me looks. If you really want my imagination to go, it's like the creature from the Black Lagoon, and they're coming up kind of like that.
I
Like
did not see that whatsoever.
Yeah.
With that third guy.
But once again, not enough data, so I can't tell you what. And they may not see either of those things. So
that's funny.
I don't know. I just don't know.
I don't even see any arms on that guy that you're saying it has the creature from the Black Lagoon thing.
It looks like this is the head, like, you know, it doesn't have a neck, and it's kind of got webbing, and this arm goes up, and this arm goes this way, and this knee is bent, coming forward. And this is, it looks to me like the creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah,
I see a farmer guy standing up, walking towards the field.
And I am going to express, and I wish Nikki would help me with this. She sees pictures different than we do, and I wanted her input. Refused to give it to me. And it just bothers me because
has her own thing going on.
Well, she says she's not a ghost hunter, and I get it. I'm not asking you to hunt ghosts. I'm asking you to tell me what you see in the picture. I just told you what I see. It looks like creature from the Black Lagoon coming up to get two Asian fishermen. Now, knowing the area, I know that's not what it is. But if you were to just drop this picture in and say, what is this?
Are there any railroads around there?
The closest railroad, Coreyton has a station. But I don't think it's active now, but the trains go through there frequently and have for a long time.
Are there any tracks around Halls there?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing anybody one. So you see, here we go. We got Uncommon Soul here. There's a cartoon dog in the picture at the top. So,
Lord.
Yeah, I really wish that they had come on and told us what I need more data. like I said, the things I can tell you, I know the road to be back there, this to be the driveway, the light to be up here, and these 3 things are solid because they cast a shadow consistent with where the light is. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
That's about all I can scientifically tell you without any other data. I don't. You can't hear this, can you?
Yes, turn it up a little bit though.
Okay, let's see if I know how to do that. Might need my producer guy here. Okay, so you heard that?
Yeah, turn it up just a little bit more.
I don't know that
Oh,
I
you
can.
can't.
I think
Can
it's as
everybody
loud
hear
as
that? Can everybody
Well,
hear
it's
that?
they can go to TikTok. I'm going to share it another way. This is just a video of the sound, the clip from where I took the sound. But once again, I believe this to be the driveway or roadway, whatever you want to call this. This batch of trees, the gate was there. There's the light pole. There's Emery Road. It goes left, right in the pictures. And there's looking down the driveway. And the light. And once again, an overhead to give you. That's the data I can pull from it. Now, I did have one other thing I wanted to share, and we're running over our time here, so I don't want to be forever. But and this is real short, so it's hard to get. So this is the sound.
That's the sound that the boys,
That's the sound enhanced from the video.
that the boys heard and ran from.
And was asking where the gate was. Okay, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I ask if there was any farms in the area, working farms. And there are farms in the area that do have working horses, mules, donkeys. Not sure about zonkies, which is common in East Tennessee. To me, I think this is
You cut out.
I did or it did?
You did. Think it's a what?
To me, I think it's a donkey. I think that this is a donkey. I can't find any other creature that makes a sound close to that. And they tell me that there's a working farm there. From the pictures on Google Earth, there are horses in the field. That's what I think it is. Now, would that scare the living hell out of you in the middle of the night if you weren't expecting something? Abso-damn-lutely. So once again, I don't have the data to say definitively what it was or where they were. I can tell you where I think they were and what I thought happened from the data I've been given. I think that's a donkey. Would I have been shit my pants if I'd heard that, not expecting it? Absolutely. Yeah. I have nearly crapped myself over a stupid barred owl in the middle of the woods. So yeah, you expect them. Those little suckers are silent when they fly. Oh God. So yeah, we had an owl, actually, one of the big owls, not the barred owl. What's the next one up? Great horn. We were walking a fire road and we startled it, and it was in the branches. Well, it had rained. So when it took off, they're silent birds. When it took off, it sounded like a thunderstorm.
Oh, gosh.
And it scared the crap out of us. And then when we kind of turned our heads, when we were all kind of like, we saw the owl. It felt stupid. But did it scare us? Hell yeah. Because it sounded like an 8-foot thing leaping out of the trees. And Uncommon Soul, you ask, was it just a sound or did they see something? I'm going by only the video.
We don't know.
I don't have any other data, and I'm going to invite them. I know they're going to watch this. I know the resident halls are watching this, and I appreciate them for doing so. If anyone has any more data or wants to come on the show, please do, because I would love to be proved wrong. But just from the data I have, I think that's a donkey.
They had a flashlight, but they had a really strong flashlight, but I don't know that they
They did what I
said
did. De-ass the area.
they what?
They de-ass the area.
Yeah, they did. So I don't know if they said anything about seeing anything. I couldn't hear that well enough. And then the sound came and they just all scattered. So
Yeah. And there's only one video on their TikTok page of that. And that's the only video I was given. So
do you have the sound of the of any of the donkeys to compare that to?
I did not do that. No, I should have. But yeah, you can just YouTube donkey sounds, and I was very impressed. I didn't know they made such noises. So
I didn't either, but a lot of them sound, when they're braying or upset, they do sound a lot like that noise. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the data I was given. That's my impression. They asked for me to put it out there. I asked for every member of my team to look at it, plus some people that aren't a part of my close team here. So, yeah. Yes, the zonkey is a zebra and donkey cross. Horses, donkeys, and zebras can interbreed. However, after they breed, let's see, the offspring is sterile.
Yeah.
So you can breed a zebra and a horse, and whatever it has, that foal will be sterile.
Yeah.
It can't. So insane. So, but yeah, and zonkies are actually very common in that part of East Tennessee. There's one that lives right across the street from my mom's, and that son of a has scared the crap out of me in the middle of the night. So, yeah. So, well, a cow will scare you in the middle of the night if you don't know it's
that's true too.
I remember Ken and I in Pennsylvania were running from an imaginary bull and damn near jumped off a cliff.
Oh,
So
good grief.
that's what probably
Crazy.
So I mean, I go back and look at that, and I don't know how we didn't die, but it's a story for another time. Ken's not listening, or he would have chimed in. It's when he tried to kill me on like my 18th birthday, a bastard.
Oh my goodness.
So,
but we would like to anybody who has information, or the guy that was supposed to come on tonight. What's his name? Austin?
Thomas. Well, Thomas and Austin were supposed to come on. Yes.
Oh, okay. We'd love for them to come on and talk with us about any of their experiences there, or what they saw, or if they could shed any more light on the photographs. That'd be great. We're not trying to say what they, we weren't there. Like Glenn said, we weren't there, but we'd love to hear anything about what they have to say, or anybody in the area that has information about any other sightings or things they've seen.
I want to be proven wrong. I want it to be something.
Yeah.
I want to believe. If you want, you can go to speakpipe.com/Para OR Normal Guyz with a Z, all one word there, and you can leave us a voicemail anonymously if you want to. You can also email us at paraornormalguyz@gmail.com. I'll put that up here as well. If you just want to email us something, paranormalguyz with a Z @gmail.com. So I would love to get them on the show and get more data. But unfortunately, with the data I got, you asked me to tell you what it is. I can't tell you definitively. I tell you what I believe it to be. And and I'm not trying to say for many of the people listening in East Tennessee that these people were trying to set up a hoax.
Right.
It could also have people messing with them. It could just be kids. So, but we don't know. I don't know. And I want to be proven. I want it to be Bigfoot. I like going out in the woods looking for the big hairy guy. I want it to be him. Yeah, I don't care about a ghost too much, but
that's what the pictures are silly. Or cryptids.
The cryptids, yeah. These are cryptids are solid. So, but yeah, That's what I wanted it to. I want him to. I want it to be something besides what I think it is.
I
And
find the pictures of the people intriguing, and I really would like to have more information on those.
more
Yeah.
data. Yeah. So yeah, once again, speakpipe.com/Para OR Normal Guyz. If you want to leave us a message, I know there's quite a few people that are watching on Facebook in East Tennessee that have an opinion about this. Some are highly opinionated about it. And I'm going to get blasted at SportCat on Twitter is fine. But prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong. I want to go out in the woods and find that Bigfoot there. So
What are you talking about? Bigfoot. This show is not about Bigfoot. This is about ghosts and cryptids. Which Bigfoot is?
Bigfoot is a cryptid.
That's what I said, but those were not Bigfoot.
No, those definitely weren't Bigfoot. No.
What the hell are you talking about Bigfoot for?
Well, that's what I said. That's what I want it to be.
I know, but it's not. So
it's not, and I don't
my
believe it's a
lordy.
cryptid either. I believe it's a friggin' donkey and people putting stuff in their yard.
not the sound, the pictures.
I believe that that's people putting stuff in their yards. So
No, I don't
Is it
know.
some-
You never know.
it's a picture of the people. Like I said, I want to be proven wrong.
Well,
Prove
then-
me wrong.
Oh Lord.
That's I want to be proven wrong. That's what. But I was asked my opinion. That's what I think it is.
Right,
Oh.
but what the hell does it have anything to do with Bigfoot?
That's what I want it to be. I want everything to be Bigfoot.
Oh. Anyway,
You're hopeless, Tina. You're hopeless. All right,
you're
let's make sure.
hopeless. You're hopeless. Everything Bigfoot
I didn't miss
up your
anything in
butt.
the chat. Whoa. Now you're going too far. So, now you just went too far. I do not want to find the elusive gay Bigfoot. No.
I didn't
So-
say gay. I said Bigfoot.
Well, it was up my butt. That's what it'd be.
Like it's kicking you in the ass.
Oh, Lord. So,
Two-syllables ass.
once again, donkey. So, all right. So, what do we got coming up next week? I think next week is going to be the good show. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Every week is a good show. I think next week is going to be a good show. I believe, let me pull my calendar up to make sure I'm not telling tales. Next week, we have two special guests. Rich Field is the commentator from The Price is Right. You know, come on down. And then we have a Wayne Miller. He's a special agent with the BATF, and he's got a really cool book out that he's going to talk about. So he's our second guest. No Bigfoot. So I promise you Bigfoot. I gave you Bigfoot in the first hour. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Please like, follow, subscribe, thumbs up, prove me wrong, speakpipe.com/Para Normal Guyz. If you want to leave an anonymous message, our Para OR Normal Guyz at gmail.com if you want to just send us a message. And of course, you can always call us during the show at 1-888-88-YERGZ. And I want to take the time to say thank you, Yergs. We are working on some things where we're going to be put out in more places. I'm not sure people will understand this, especially me, but they're going to be some different places soon. And hopefully after tonight, our shows will be premiering one of the first of few podcasts that will be on YouTube Music.
Yay.
So hopefully that all gets checked off and dotted tonight. I've been filling out paperwork all day, so
Good deal.
uh,
Please remember
I think that's
to
about it. Like,
Like,
follow, thumbs up.
share, subscribe, follow us.
That's right. Para OR Normal Guyz on Facebook. And there's also a group for Knoxville called Knoxville Happenings that you can go to if you want something specifically for Knoxville. So there you go. There you go. Well, we've done it, Dina. We've talked for an hour and 12 minutes.
Yay.
I knew you could do it.
I could do it.
Shame we didn't have more co-hosts, but that's all right.
Hey, I like it when it's just me and you sometimes. Not that I don't like everybody else.
You can cuddle.
Shut up.
I don't have that stupid dummy in between us.
Oh.
I'll let you guess which one that is. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it as always. Thank you for everything you do for us. None of this would be possible without you and me believing that people actually want to hear me talk and pontificate. Until next week, until Saturday night with Mystic. Catch you soon. Have a good weekend or a good week. See you this weekend.